Garnata, Hill of Strangers. Go to Granada, Lucas said. There's a special hostel there. I'd learned Spanish in Central America and wanted to test my speaking skills in the place of origin. Without the local tongue, Northern Europe can be navigated easily. Southern Europe not so much. As a native English speaker, although I have the fortune of the international language at my fingertips, I struggle to learn the world's languages. The world has to learn mine. The first hostel I stayed at was in a different decade, a different century. To get online, travelers paid $1 for 10 minutes on a desktop computer. At 37 years old, in the social media era, I wasn't keen to impose on young people. Nevertheless, I'd been stuck in Norway with Alexandra, my sick and pregnant partner, over a winter much colder and darker than the previous one. I'd injured my shoulder at work and struggled with seasonal affective disorder, a condition difficult to avoid in Oslo, with as little as 6 hours of light per day during winter. Go, Alexandra ordered. My sister is here, my friends are here, the cardiologist and the midwives are available any time I need them. I'll be fine. You won't. You need sun and I need you in good health. Take a break. Receiving such advice is a testament to how fortunate I am to have a selfless partner. I booked a 400 krona trip to Malaga. Following 2 nights by the beach, on arrival at the hostel I'm met by a kid with blonde dreads and fierce underarm body odor. So outside we have the bar and... I'll look later. I need to put my backpack down. Unimpressed, he shrugs his shoulders and leaves the reception. How many times does he do this daily? I've been in his shoes. A young hostel volunteer skips past me, clothed in a sarong, hair tied in a bun. He puts coffee on, and we chat. He pulls a bouzouki out and plays a tune, toasting bread and buttering it after his performance. I don't note which part of England Ollie is from. He wishes to stay in Granada, playing music in the daytime, working evening shifts at the hostel. What are you up to today? I ask. Staying here. I'm broke. I'll take you out. The company and walk will do us good. Let's go. The Palace of the Forgotten is not far from the hostel. I pay for Ollie's entrance fee, and we learn how Jews and Muslims were brutally tortured by Catholics with vices, clamps, and ball bearings during the Spanish Inquisition. General Franco's regime didn't treat the Republicans any better centuries on. Returning to the hostel, Ollie's friend, Gael, an Italian, is working on his agricultural website. It's too nice a day to be playing on computers, Ollie says, patting Gael on the head. The Italian looks up, irked by the distraction. I didn't mean to be patronizing when I patted you on the head before, so I'm really sorry, Ollie says, later on, before leaving the area. Gael sits, sips his tea, and puts his device away. He glances up to me. I'm sorry for patting your head and being patronizing? What the hell is this? I know the answer, but instead of replying, shake my head. Let's go for a smoke when I finish, the Italian says. A lone traveller sits nearby. Want to join? Gael asks. You can smoke weed in the courtyard during the evening, but not daytime. As a trio, we stand in an alleyway. The lanky traveller, Aaron, unties his hair and speaks up. Dude, I'm 19. I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to return to Utah. Do you know how hard it is to get weed there? I'm going through a major crisis. College is great, and I have so many friends, but now I've spent the last 2 weeks traveling Europe. I feel so free, and I have to give it all up. Do you mind if I finish that J? Aaron speaks his words quickly, and I notice they don't register with Gael. Sure, the Italian says, passing the joint. I don't know what my major is going to be. I'm leaving Europe too early. I should spend at least a couple more weeks here. I'm so happy. I'm happy in Utah too, but I'm happier here even though I haven't got a girlfriend. And what if I don't meet anyone? I've smoked so much weed in Europe, I think my grades will be affected. What if people in the dorms don't like me? At least here in Europe, I'm meeting different people every day. I don't know what I'm going to do. Relax. There's still plenty of time, I say. That is the best advice anyone has given me, ever. He finishes the joint and wanders back into the hostel. Gael opens his mouth to say something and closes it. He tries once again and fails. Pomegranate, translated to Spanish, is Granada. It's my favorite fruit, and I miss the Sierra Nevada growing season by 1 month. The name of the old town, GARNATA, translates to Hill of Strangers. There are caves and viewing points above the town, housing pizza chefs, bohemians, and Senegalese refugees. Labyrinthine cobblestone lanes weave decay and charm into the city below. Flamenco guitarists, violinists, painters, and dancers busk on corners. I smell burning cannabis everywhere. Students from other parts of Spain sit outside cafes wearing Zara and Mango boots and jackets. The awe-inspiring Alhambra attracts tourists from all over. It takes effort to find scalp tickets, and in my idleness, I don't wish to queue with hundreds of eager visitors. I can see her beauty from the outside. It's one of the busiest palaces in the world. A young woman slips into the hammock next to mine and gazes into her phone. There are worse places to spend an afternoon, I say. There are. I'm at college in Barcelona. So nice to take a break, she says in a proper South England accent. ¿Qué estudias? What? What are you studying? Performing arts. What do you intend to do when you finish? Her eyes flare. I realize I sound like a cynical uncle. I'm not taking the piss. I'm genuinely interested. It's a sexist industry in England. Women have no rights. It's bullshit, run by a bunch of pigs in suits. But it's changing. I don't wish to press the issue further, and our communication ceases. The hammocks are too comfortable. Later in the evening, I sit with Ollie, Gael, and another Italian, Igor, the dreadlocked guy from reception. We suck on joints and discuss life. Flamenco music is playing, relaxing us all as 20 or so people sit in the courtyard. The woman from the hammock, joined by her friend, takes center stage. Her friend films while she spins poi with glowing balls. One ball collides with another and the gear flies from her hands. We return to sucking on joints and talking. The performer attempts to resuscitate her act, but no one cares and the pair sidles off. Fine, if that's how you want it, the entertainer says. I meet a second performing artist, Helen, a thespian from Warrington, volunteering at the hostel. There aren't any jobs, and who knows what's going to happen with Brexit, she says. I'm going to keep doing what I love anyway. I'm pleased to hear this from the 21-year-old, and we wander down the hill for tapas and beer. The tapas takes 45 minutes. This leaves Helen in a quandary, neither wanting to be bolshy about the food, nor late for her shift. Disculpa, ¿es la comida listo, por favor? I ask. Ah, sí, says the server, who was not informed by the chef. She brings our plates over. Another guest approaches her. Excuse me. See? I'm waiting for a chicken skewer. It's been 30 minutes. Where is it? She says, pronouncing her W's as V's in a thick accent found 7,500 kilometers east-southeast. Can you please speak slower? My English is not very good. We are waiting 30 minutes! The guest ogles our table, rolling her eyes and raising her hands. We give no response. It's shameful to be a tourist, Helen says to me. She scoffs her banderillas and runs up the hill. The 6-bed dorm is transient. I strike up a conversation with a Colombian doctor. She tells me my Spanish is feminine and English gruff. There's a 20-year-old student from Maryland, USA, in our dorm, Candace. We all chat into the evening. The doctor says good night, plugs her headphones in, and nestles down to rest. Candace proclaims embarrassment for her nationality. Why? We're so stupid, not like you Europeans. You all speak so many languages. I say nothing of my origin. Lack of language means little. Besides, your Spanish is great. My Spanish is the comic equivalent of a drunk in Mexico speaking English. My grammar's all over the place. I live in Norway. My Norwegian is terrible. I catch the flu. With honey and ginger bought from the tienda, my plan is to make tea. I take a plastic chair and lean it on the lemon tree in the yard, pulling myself up the trunk and into the branches, where I pick lemons. The entire crowd watches. I'm unsure why. Brewing a big pot, I offer the concocted tea to the guests. Not for me, thanks, one says. Bees. I'm vegan. Isn't the production of honey good for the environment? Another asks. The silence is long. When someone calls for a group picture, a young US military veteran, Craig, gets up and spills his sangria. It splashes on the white plastic chair next to Candace as she is about to sit. I wipe the seat so she can rest. Like me, she doesn't wish to be in the photo. I volunteer to press buttons and capture the moment, handed a dozen various gadgets as the group assembles. Wait, says Aaron. My mom checks my Instagram. We gotta get these bottles out of the picture. The trio moves the bottles to the side. They reposition themselves for the photo. Hang on a sec, Craig says, following 5 separate clicks. He hands his phone to me. My mom checks my Instagram. We gotta get these bottles back into the photo. I find Craig's light-hearted comment harmless, even clever. However, it catches the crowd off guard. They stand for a moment, and a different trio places the bottles back in the picture. De ser queso, I call. No one says cheese in any language. They smile, and I click.